everyone, it's Tina Trevino from Latin Business Today, and it's Friday, so happy Friday, and we are still in quarantine mode. So I actually went out today and did my one essential run to go get groceries that hopefully can hold me and my husband for the week. So with that being said, I wanted to make Easter eggs because it is Easter, and if you observe, wonderful, and if you don't, it's still a fun time to kind of do something arts and crafts in the house since we're all hunkered down and we don't have a lot to do. So I went out to get some eggs, first of all, and it's really hard to find any eggs, so I was lucky that I actually could find some white eggs, but I have also brown eggs, and we're gonna try these out today. Also, the other thing was I was also looking for Easter egg coloring, which is not in some of the supermarkets, and even if you try to order it, you can't order it in time. So I figured, let's try something natural instead of buying the dye. So we're gonna do a little test run today with some things you might have in your pantry that you could get your hands on easily. So we're gonna try out today a few things. We're gonna try out green Jello. So yes, I do know you can use Jello, or you could use Kool-Aid also. They'll both work actually. So we'll just use a little bit and we'll mix it with water. We'll put it in here and then we'll dye some green Easter eggs. So we have Jello. The second thing I wanted to try was beets. So I actually found a couple of beets at the supermarket today also. So I have one boiling on the stove actually. I'm gonna turn this off. And we're gonna let the water cool from the beets, and then we're gonna dip our eggs in the beets to see what we get with the beets as well. The other thing I thought would be in the same vein, in that purple vein, and I'm not sure what will work the best, might be some blackberries. So I have blackberries, and I also have some red wine. I figured red wine, probably a lot of us have this, and we could just use a little bit to dye our eggs, probably pink or a shade of darker red, depending on how long we leave them in. And the last thing I thought was, what about mustard? Will that work? I don't know. So we're gonna try some mustard as well and see if we can get some pretty yellow eggs. So I'm gonna start to mix this stuff up, and we're gonna just see what works and what doesn't work, and we're gonna have fun with it. So let's first try some mustard. So I'm gonna say maybe a tablespoon in there probably. And let's put a little more water in there. I'm guessing you can use any kind of mustard, but probably the really regular American mustard would work the best. I actually have spicy brown mustard. That was the only thing I have in my pantry. So let's try that with our egg. So our eggs we actually boiled for 10 minutes to be hard boiled. We put a little bit of vinegar in the water as well. And yeah, they cook for 10 minutes, and then we let them just cool down so that they don't break when we put them into some of these other liquids. So we're gonna try yellow. I think we're gonna have to leave it in for quite some time to see if it works. This one might take a while to take, so we'll let that one go. And then let's try the green Jello. I think this one will be really fun actually. This is probably gonna be really vibrant. So I just happen to have a couple of packs laying around in my pantry, so I don't know if you do, but you could try anything in your pantry, honestly. Why not? Maybe you have saffron, maybe you have turmeric, spices, anything that might lend some color to the eggs. So let's see how this one goes. I think we'll just try a little and see how green it gets. That's pretty green. I want my eggs super duper green. And you know what also? I think some of you aren't gonna have white eggs because I had a really tough time finding white eggs today. I mean, like I said, you might only be able to get brown eggs. You might not even get eggs. So it's really tough right now trying to get whatever groceries you need. But let's try a brown egg in there. Let's see what happens. And then we'll try one with a white egg too, I think, a little bit later. We'll see what that looks like. And then let's do the wine too. So I actually have one that's open already, so I'm gonna use this. It'll just be easier. We can get this one rolling. You can tell I had some already last night. So this one I think is just a straight one right into the glass. And you might say, maybe I just want a glass of wine first of all. But let's try the wine and see what happens. Wow, this one takes like immediately. So I'm gonna leave this one in for a while and see how dark we can get it actually. This one's really pretty. And then I'm gonna do the beet as well. So really fun to try is if you raid your kids' supplies and you can get some crayons, this is really fun. So you can use the wax crayons as a kind of a resist. So I actually have, I'm gonna use a different color if I'm gonna dye it red. So you can draw on your egg. So I'm gonna try it on the brown egg actually. So we'll just dry that off. And let's do some fun little hearts on here. And that should make a really cute pattern when it comes out. If you don't have crayons, you can use candles. That works just as well. Or if you want to just draw on them afterwards with some markers, that's fun too. But it's always fun to test run this out. Try this out. I have cats running around, crazy cats right now, who are bored too. So if you can't hear them in the background. So let's just do a few more. So that's really cool. And the other thing is I did find some saffron in my spice cabinet. So this actually looks like it's going to be a little orange-yellow color. So I just dumped some in some water and stirred it up. So I've let that sit. And the other thing that I think is fun too to try is there is a trick with elastic. So same thing. You can kind of just wrap your little egg with rubber bands. You can make really cool patterns. You can be fancy. You can wrap different ones in different directions and make it like a plaid. But we're just gonna try this out on this egg and hope I don't smash them in the process. So we're just doing some crazy random pattern on it. It's gonna go in here. So let's try that in the saffron. So drop that in. And we're gonna, oh yeah, that's gonna be cool. So we're gonna let everything sit for a little bit and see what happens, see what it takes with the colors. And then we'll check in a little bit and see how they look, all right? Okay, we're back. So in that time while we were waiting, I actually asked my mom and dad to take the little Easter egg challenge too as well at home. So I'm gonna show you some of their eggs. I think theirs came out better than mine actually. But at the end of our test kitchen today for our DIY Easter egg, I actually did really well with the Jello egg, did really well. The saffron egg did well, and the red wine egg came out great. And then you can see some of the little markings from the crayon resist here too. I have to say the mustard was no-go. The beets were a little tough, and so were the blackberries. But I think probably the Jello and the Kool-Aid would be the best bet, and even the red wine. And then after you use the red wine, you can have some the rest of the bottle. So anyway, here's some of our handiwork. You have a great weekend, and happy holiday, happy Easter. Bye.